And we're live, seemingly somehow. And welcome back to this interview, drink session, whatever you want to call it, Friday afternoon. And I'm joined by a new guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm James, and I am from A Right Nice Pint on YouTube. That's basically it. You know, it's a new enough channel. It's been running, I think, about 4 months now. So yeah, it's relatively new to the beer tube community as such. So yeah. Is that a short enough intro, or do you want a longer one, Thomas?
Whatever you like yourself. I suppose we chatted a few minutes before we went on. Your channel is more about the beer machines rather than the, say, craft beer or beer, whatever people want to label them as. So how did you get into the beer machines, I suppose?
The beer machines, actually, lockdown and the pandemic has been the answer to a lot of questions, I'd imagine, that you've asked in the interviews in the last few weeks and stuff. So I suppose initially what happened was when the lockdown came and the pubs were closed, I was renting with a couple of guys here. There's a couple of guys renting rooms off me here, and every day there was bottles everywhere, and it was just a mess. There was bottles of Heineken all over the kitchen, cans of Heineken all over the place, because there was 3 of us here. And most evenings, like during the first month of lockdown, I'd imagine most people just thought, right, this is going to be, because in Ireland it was like, Asher, we're going to be off work for maybe 3 weeks or something like that. So what people are thinking, like, Asher, like, it's going to be like Christmas for 2 or 3 weeks. We'll just chill out for 3 weeks. We'll stay at home. We'll have a few drinks. And we did that here. And it ended up being lots of cans and bottles all over the place, and the quality of the beer just wasn't the same. So as lockdown ended up being longer, I looked into home beer systems, home tap systems, and I suppose something that was a little bit portable. So I actually went to YouTube first to do my research on those machines, and I ended up purchasing a blade. And I suppose when buying a keg for something like a blade is, you're spending a lot more money on something like a keg for something like that than, say, a can of beer. So I was doing my research into everything before I actually purchased it. So as time went on, I kind of people were saying to me, because I was educating myself and stuff. People were saying to me, because my background is actually broadcasting, is actually my day job. Someone said, why don't you try something like that? What those guys are doing on YouTube. And sure, look at, like everything, you know, you think about it, and then one day I just said, you know what, feck it, I'm going to do it. Let's try it. You're going to get some negativity along the way, but sure, it's a bit of fun as well. I wouldn't be on the channel talking to a great guy like yourself, Thomas, if I didn't do it. So
what was the first beer machine then?
Sorry, say that again, Thomas. Sorry.
What was the first beer machine you purchased?
The first one I got, I have the 3 of them here. I've actually got 4 now altogether. So the first one was the blade. So I got the Heineken blade because I suppose it was. Actually, I just saw Scott Montes comment there. I love it. That's happened to me a few times as well. You drink it all before you get a chance to actually review it. Yeah. Great drop as well, Scott. So the blade was the first one, purely because the main drink on it was Heineken. And at the time I paid, because Heineken was the drink I would have taken pre-pandemic. Yeah. Now everything has kind of changed, but the machine cost about €520 with 4 kegs of Heineken and 24 glasses. So as time went on, I started kind of getting a bit greedy, and I thought, I wonder what this perfect draft machine is like, because it was actually $179 secondhand when I bought that, and it was a lot cheaper than the blade. So I went for it and tried that out. But there's a huge variety on the perfect draft, and that was kind of what drew me to it. I don't know who was ringing me. How unprofessional is that? Sorry, Thomas.
No problem. Did you ever fear not being able to get kegs, being in Ireland, as most of them come from the UK?
So where I'm based near the border, so it comes with its own advantages, I suppose, in a way. So I actually have friends in the north that were able to take some orders for me. So that was great. So I was able to do it that way. An hour's drive from here, and I'm like an hour's drive from here, and I'm in the north of Ireland, where it's part of the UK. So you can get, blade kegs, pick them up there. Luckily, now when I bought the Perfect Draft, you could not get a Perfect Draft keg in Ireland. You had to go to the north for them as well. But luckily now, the beergals.com have set up in the last 12 months. They obviously saw the gap in the market, so they went for it. And now next day delivery, you can get beer Perfect Draft kegs to the house. So that's great. Now the other machine I went for, actually, do you want me to go through all of the four I've got here? So I'm just going to plug out my charger for a moment. Hopefully it doesn't change anything. So these are the three main ones. So it's the Heineken Blade, the Perfect Draft, which the tap is just taken out of it there at the minute. There's nothing in it. And the Linder, which is a dry cooler. So that Linder dry cooler system is, I suppose as time went on, people were kind of getting this, certainly here in Ireland anyway. I don't know what it's like in England and Scotland and Wales and stuff like that. But over here, people were mad to get like a pint of Guinness at home. So I decided to go for the Linder system. And the Linder system allowed me to hook up to that dry cooler allowed me to hook up to a 50-liter keg or a 30-liter keg or a 20-liter keg, and it would actually cool the beer instantly to go through. It's not like a kegerator where you leave the keg actually in the machine. So I wanted to have stout at home, so I went for the Linder system, and that it's a great machine. The only thing is when you tap something, you're committed to drinking 20, 30 or 50 liters of something. So it can be a bit much. Now over here, then, now I know a lot of people have covered stuff on this. The Pinter, I got the pint. I got the last one. I got the Pinter because I just wanted to experiment with the. It's not proper home brewing now. Look, I know it isn't, but I wanted to try it out. I thought it was very economical as well. Like £12, you get 10 pints out of it. Like I think that's brilliant. That's excellent. And I see that they're all about innovation and that kind of thing, and it's great. Look, I have noticed. That's a Weiss beer. It's they call it Weiss Nights. Now I put it in for the minimum amount of time, 4 days brewing and 3 days conditioning. But it's in the fridge all that time since. So it's in there 5 days or something like that. So as the time went on, the actual beer is changing. So it's an interesting machine, the Pinter. I really like that. So that's only my second one on it. But so I've had quite a range. I've had quite a range of machines, and that was kind of, I suppose, when I had the machines. The opening was there to maybe do something on YouTube as well, because there is people that were like me that were looking at buying the machines, that did all their research through the likes of YouTube before making a decision on what machine to buy and what kegs to buy for it. Yeah.
Well, Travel Brews is another channel. He does mainly the Pinter, and he does his own home brews of them, or he has burn, and so kits he puts hops. I don't know if you've seen his channel.
Who was it again?
Travel Brews.
No, have I? I think I have. I seen he did. He's a couple of Pinters, I think, and he put different ones against each other. I think, did he? Yeah, because I think when they did the Euros. The ones for the Euros, he was putting like Scotland versus England and stuff in the Pinters. I think so. I think that's the same channel, is it?
I think so. Yeah.
Hi, Wanda. Hi, Keith as well. I thought I saw Keith there as well. Actually, I have to. This is pretty much my first time on here. Keith Nocton is there as well. Hi, Keith. Keith.
I think you put his comment. He's up here somewhere. Easier.
There he is. What are you gents drinking during the intro? Actually, Thomas, what are you drinking?
I finished the home brew there. It was terrible. So I'm 12 acres.
12 acres. I haven't actually had that. I haven't had the 12 acres. That's a pale ale.
Yeah,
I haven't had that yet.
Really nice lads there. They're just across the border in Laois. So
Alan, Irish craft beer guy. How are you doing, buddy?
He's again. Yeah. So
Scott has had issues with his Pinter, I see there. I think I saw that. You couldn't get the brewing dock off it or something.
Yeah,
Scott.
he said he couldn't get the brewing dock. I think he's given up on it. I think so anyhow.
There must be some way of getting it off. Did you try a hammer, Scott? That might work.
Try hammer. It works. Never fails.
Beardy Beer Reviews. How are things, buddy? Who else
So,
is on? Yeah.
I suppose, what's the best machine then? You've tried nearly
This
every machine.
I actually thought about this because I knew you were going to ask me this question. I was thinking about this today. I did actually a machine video on YouTube at one point, and I listed pros and cons for Scott managed it. He got as he says, he wedged the bastard off there now. Good man Scott.
I'm terrible at comments. Sorry if I don't put
man, Scott. Scott now, he's got plenty of muscle. He'll be well able to take that off. Anyway, in terms of the machines, Thomas. So the Blade is the best built one. The Blade is we'll remove the Linder because it's a completely different system altogether. We'll remove that for the moment. But Blade versus Perfect Draft. Blade, if you put, and you're not meant to do this, right? If you put a keg into the Blade from room temperature, you'll have a cold beer in 20 minutes, 20 minutes to a half an hour. Now, the range on the Heineken machine is lower than the Perfect Draft. The Perfect Draft has something like 53 kegs on it, where the Blade has maybe 15 different kegs available on it. So I think then the price of the actual Blade kegs works out cheaper as well. You're getting 14.5 pints out of your keg on a Blade, 10.5 pints out of the Perfect Draft. But I think the quality of beer on the Perfect Draft is better than the quality of beer that's on the Blade. So in terms of that, I don't know, like if you're it all depends. I think it depends what you're into, what beers you're into. I think really the two machines are excellent in their own ways. And I think what you should do is just look at, if you are thinking of buying one, to look at the range of beers which is on each machine, and whatever you like, just go for that. Because if you're a sole like Heineken drinker or Moretti drinker, just get the Blade. And if you like trying Belgian beers, then look at the because there's a huge range of like Belgian and German beers on the Phillips Perfect Draft. So that's where it wins out. The range is massive on the Perfect Draft. The Linder system, then, if you're going to have, I was going to say big gatherings of people, which you're not meant to be doing at the minute, but if you had big gatherings with people, or if you want to have something like Guinness at home, the Linder, like you can hook up a 50, 30, 20 litre keg of stuff, even just go down to your local craft brewery and get a keg off them, your local brewery, and you can hook it up and you're laughing. Like you can just, on your way home from work, if there's a brewery in the area, you pop in, pick up a keg, and I've done that, and just away you go on the Linder. Find 5 minutes, you've got a cold beer, and the versatility is excellent because it can hook up to nearly anything.
Yeah.
So I can't really, it's very hard to answer what the best machine is. For me, I love the range in the Perfect Draft system. Originally it was, I just loved Heineken. And then I just, as time went on, I like the Belgian styles that are on the Perfect Draft. And because you can switch and change different styles, and so the versatility that's on the Perfect Draft, I probably opt for that.
Okay. I suppose moving on from the machines then, would start on YouTube, is there good points, bad points?
Points or pints? Are we talking beer? Or are we? What? Say that again, Thomas.
Good points or bad points?
Oh, of being on it.
Yeah. So, it's okay.
Listen, I suppose it's like anything. If you are willing to put yourself onto a public platform, you're going to get negative comments, and that's just, I suppose, it comes with it. Now, I'm lucky enough that I haven't got many, and they can be, when you're starting off, they can be a kick in the teeth for you. All right, you kind of say to yourself, "Damn it! Like I'm only my third video in or second video in, and someone has said this or someone has said that," and you kind of takes a wind out of your sails a little bit. So, I don't know, why is someone getting a couple of calls there? I don't know if they're watching the live videos. I doubt it. I don't know. They don't know what I'm doing. But the good points is that, like, I've got a lot of feedback, and I've had people ask me for my advice on the machines and where I bought them. And this is I suppose this is one of the reasons why I set up. There wasn't really many. I don't think there was anyone in the Republic of Ireland doing stuff on the machines. So people want to know where to get the kegs, where to get the machines, where to get the kegs, and what I thought of it. So I had the information because I was sourcing the stuff myself. So I was able to give people some advice along the way. So people ended up buying a blade or a perfect draft or a Linder system, and then came back to me and said, "Thanks a million for that, mate. Really appreciate it. I got the machine and I'm delighted." And that meant a lot to me, or even some of the beers that were on the likes of, say, the Linder system. I only did a few, but there was people looking for a stout when you couldn't get Guinness. You couldn't get Guinness in Ireland. I don't know, was that 4 or 5 months ago? You couldn't get a keg of it. So people were looking for alternatives, and I had took in a couple of alternatives and put them on the Linder system. And people were asking me, "Okay, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?" And they went, bought them, tried them, and they loved it. So they're the good points of being on YouTube. And the other thing is, like I said at the start, I said earlier on, I think I said, I don't know if we were live at the time. This is a very unique kind of community as well. Like I see Alan Mead commenting on other channels and stuff as well. Scott and Wanda, I've been watching Scott and Wanda quite a bit over the last while too. And you just end up, coming across people and chatting with people and mixing with people in this community. And you make friends out of it, really, and you get to know other people's tastes and opinions and stuff as well. Like I never thought I'd spend hours watching YouTube on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon. I was watching Scott's watch-alongs during the England game, and I was getting very much entertained. Really loved that kind of thing. Like there was all these different types of live streams and stuff, and I spent more. A lot of people watched Netflix during lockdown. I watched YouTube during lockdown, and I never thought I'd that day would come that I spent so much time watching it, but it has. So here we are.
You'll be watching Love Island or something.
That's true.
Sorry, anyone who watches Love Island. It's a perfectly enjoyable show.
I hope there are people out there that are opting to watch us tonight than watch Love Island.
Yeah, I think there's 4 people. I suppose you said you've been in the kind of social media, you're in the radio background, so you didn't have any anxiety about going on, put yourself out there at the start.
No, because I suppose when you're working in radio, you kind of get that you're already you can sometimes get criticized for that too. You meet someone on the street or meet someone in the pub, like someone will say, geez, I was listening to you the other day, geez, I love that part, or I love this, or I love that, and then someone else say, I don't listen to you. To be honest, it's not for me. So you get a mix of that when you're working in broadcasting anyway. So it's fine. So because YouTube was new, and I had people kind of encouraging me to give it a try and see where it goes and what happens. When you're only a couple of videos in and you're getting a negative comment or two, you kind of think, should I be doing this? Do I just look like a fool doing this, or what's the story? Because but I kept at it, and I tried to improve some of the production values to go with it as well. The sound quality wasn't great in the first one, so I have this microphone now that I use for my videos, and I think that kind of I think that's what that's kind of improved some of the content. Sure, who wants to see women parading around in bikinis on Love Island when we can chat about craft beer? Oh wait, hang on. See you later, lads. Alan, are you leaving us?
Alan must be he must know about Love Island since he knows about you can tell the girlfriend about
he knows what goes on. He's got a boy. He has it muted in the background. He's watching and listening to us, but he has that on in the background. He's watching it, aren't you, Alan?
It's only to help his partner, support his partner to watch it. That's all he's.
I see Scott's Dave and Chris ruined our lives. Are you saying lives? Are you on about the live video or lives as in life?
Or the WhatsApp group. I think that's kind of famous now. The Dave and Chris's WhatsApp group.
All right. Okay. I haven't seen too much of that or heard much of that now. Alan, I make my wife watch it. Watch us or watch Love Island?
Hopefully both. I suppose moving on then. as you said, you're kind of new to the craft beer industry or craft beer drinking, whatever you want to call it. How do you think it will be affected by COVID-19, or how do you think it will recover?
The craft beer industry.
Yeah, in
Oh,
Ireland.
you know, there was one thing I think some of the breweries, the local breweries, some of them they got new customers out of it, because pubs were closed. So when you're in a pub, certainly here in Ireland and you're in rural Ireland, the pubs all kind of have they have the same things. You walk in and it's all kind of Heineken products and Diageo products and AB InBev products are in front of you, and there's very little local stuff. It's all the stuff that's in front of you is the multinational stuff when you go into most of the pubs. But because pubs were closed and people are going into off licenses and supermarkets, some of them would have looked at a beer on the shelf and it was from a local brewer or from some craft brewer in Ireland, picked it up and would have changed their tastes as well. I know a number of people that happened with, and they'll taste that stuff and they'll go, why was I drinking lager in the bar for the last number of years when I could have been drinking this IPA from 8 Degrees Brewing or whatever? You know, it's I think the pandemic had its plus points for a lot of the craft brewers, because it would have drew people to new customers to them as well over time. So it's like, I see Alan there, he's mentioned Rye River. Like Rye River have they've got 3 or 4 different brand names that come under them, don't they? They've got McGargles, they've got Sullus, they've got Crafty Brewing in Lidl. Yeah, like I came across them and I thought, like, I have a Sullus beer in the fridge there that I picked up. I've picked up only one of them today, but I have one in the fridge there. I'll probably have a little bit later. But like they will recover. I think they will recover, and like I can't wait to go to Dead Centre in Athlone. They have a bar and they do food and stuff there, Dead Centre Brewing. And that's on my list. You know, I would not have thought I came across them if it wasn't for the pandemic and trying out new beer. So a different beer, I should say, as opposed to new beer, but trying out different beer. So one of the things on the list is go to the Dead Centre bar in Athlone. Let's see some of the comments there.
Yeah, one that said about stouts there. Yeah, I love stouts, so you can.
Oh, you did. What stout did you have though, Wanda? That's the like stouts they're quite varied as well. You know, you can have some quite.
Well, if you want to get to Wanda, chocolate stouts, her favorite, I believe, and imperial stouts.
All right, okay, yeah, you can't beat that. Thomas has the distinction of sending the first stout. Oh, the first one so you sent a chocolate one over to her, Thomas, did you?
No, I sent her over one of O'Hara's stouts. I can't remember which one it was now.
Oh yeah.
So she didn't mind it too much. She actually said it was okay. So I brought her down the stout route so she could Scott could blame me for introducing her to stouts.
I love the night, and my favorites are the nitro stouts now. Like, to be fair, they're the ones I prefer.
That's my next beer. It's actually in the fridge there from O'Hara's Nitro Stout.
Oh, so O'Hara's Nitro. I haven't had that one. I put nitro stouts through the Linder. So I put like Brennan Smooth Pour, and I put Nine White Deer Stag Stout through it as well. And I put the St. Mel's Stout through it. And great beers. You know, I prefer nitro stouts because it's the creaminess of the head. Like, it just adds something to it.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Okay, move on.
Alan, let's see. We've got Keith. Keith loves the Stag Stout. Alan loves the O'Hara's Nitro.
Yes.
I just had Scott and Wanda's comment there. Thomas, I blame you. She's like a bloody woman possessed now. It's not
Okay.
O'Hara's fault. It's not the O'Hara's stout fault, Scott.
Yeah. Okay. I should. Well, they said the staggeringly good beers that I can't get them over here now, so I'll have
What
to.
beer? What beer was it?
Staggeringly Good is a brewery close to Scott and Wanda. It's in Southampton.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
it's one of their favourite breweries, and 2 beers sent over class from them now. Let's see. Next question, if I can bring it up. I should have printed out the questions.
Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's grand.
Yeah,
We'll just go with the flow. We go with the flow, Thomas. That's what we do.
What? Good flow? I forget things. Let's see. It's supposed to be new. What are your favourite breweries then?
Oh,
in Ireland?
In Ireland.
Yeah.
I have tried some of the Rye River stuff, and like I say, they come under. There's a number of brands that they come under. Like they do. The stuff from Legal, I really like some of the stuff that they had, and the crafty brewing stuff. Like I enjoyed some of that. 8 Degrees Brewing, I really enjoyed the 8 Degrees Brewing. Howling Gale.
Yeah.
They have Howling Gale, and they've got the I'm trying to think of the name that's on it. Is it a single malt? I'm trying to think of the name that's on it. I like 8 Degrees Brewing. I like some of the stuff that comes from the Rye Brewing Co. because look, they come under different names. I like Nine White Deer. It's the gluten free. They're a gluten free brewery. And that is their USP. That's your unique selling point. I have been trying a number of different ones out. But they're probably the White Hag. Sorry, White Hag is another one that I really like, and I've tried some of the St. Mel's stuff out, and I enjoy some of the St. Mel's beers as well. My favorite, I'd say one of my favorite breweries all around. One of my favorite beers comes from, I think it's Yorkshire, Vocation Life and Death.
Yeah.
That's one of the only beers I get like a craving for. That is just specifically Vocation Life and Death. During the week, during the week, I was just like, I want to try that Vocation Life and Death. I'm hoping to get hold of a few more, but they're only available in Tesco. You can only get Life and Death at the minute. I'm hoping that they will have a few more out.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath, but yeah, that's the only place I get now. I'm not often in Tesco, but that's what I pick up if I'm yammering in Tesco. What then was if we're moving from the supermarket beers to, we say, your bottle shop beers? So say what kind of the more expensive end? I suppose what would you be going to?
The expensive beers. International expensive beers.
No, we'll say Irish. So Whiplash. I suppose you could put White Hag, maybe some of them. Like, what would you be going to?
In Ireland, I don't know. I haven't had too many of what you'd call the really expensive ones.
Well, actually, go with €7 is expensive for me. So.
Now I enjoy White Hag. What was the names are what escaped me, because I did 3 or 4 different White Hag ones on the channel. I enjoy their juicy pale ale. I forget the name of it. Because they have like this New World IPA, and then there's another one. I'm trying to think. Jeez, Omnipole, $18.99 per can. Where are we going with that, Alan? Really? Is this what we're talking about? When you're talking about expensive beers, you're talking $18.99 per can. Come on.
Yeah. This is the rabbit hole to go down.
For me, what I was ordering in was Trappist beers, and I was getting stuff from Belgium. Actually, then the Trapp is in the Netherlands as well, so I was trying out Trappist stuff. So I ended up with a La Trappe gift pack. here, and I think the quadruple is like 10.5% or something like that. And when you said expensive beers, I would have said that was probably the best one for me, and I don't know how much they cost. But $18.99 per can. Scott, a 440ml can of that. What? Where do I buy that, Alan?
Rock Central, I bet you.
Scott and Mondive, an aged bottle of Yellow Belly, cost me £11 for a 330ml bottle.
But that is a good bottle. Yellow Belly. You can't try it anymore. They're gone. I think they might be coming back, but I think the one I bought was about 5 or 6 years ago. It was €9. Yeah,
it's. I don't know if I could spend that kind of money for one can. And what percentage what percentage is Omnipolo there, Alan? What, like $18.99 per can? What ABV are those? Is that?
I'm not sure, but
And what makes it that? What makes it so expensive?
Because it's a high quality beer.
$18.99.
I wouldn't pay it, but
I wouldn't pay it.
No, I wouldn't pay it.
Maybe to do a video on YouTube, maybe, but I wouldn't be paying. I wouldn't be paying.
No, the 200 fathoms now is about what my limit is, and I only buy that. It's a bit overpriced and overhyped now in Ireland. Have you tried it?
Which one?
It's from Galway Bay.
No, I haven't had that. Like I've only got into the bottles and the cans, trying the different bottles and cans since the start of the year, and the majority of them were featured on the channel. So like I haven't got through enough of it yet, but I'm working my way through, Thomas. Most of the stuff I've done is kind of on the machines really, and I've just kind of maybe tried out some more of the, like there was actually a lot of the Irish stuff that I had put on the channel, but it was mainly most of the stuff that I was doing was mainly from the machines. So but anything that was on the I probably haven't tried much more other than what's on the channel, really, to be honest.
Yeah, sure. It's all new. Your mission after this is to go to something like Craft Central. They're based out of Stephen Street in Dublin, but they're a bottle shop stations, and they're mainly online, but like you'll get a lot of the, let's say, higher end, let's say, craft beers in Ireland out. That's who I go mainly if I was buying beers, because there's no one. I live in the middle of nowhere, so that's who I buy if I had money. That's who I buy beers off.
So I'll next time I go to Dublin, I'll break the piggy bank and I'll head up.
Go online. It's next day delivery. If Craft Central want to give me a plug on them, if they want to give me
send them on. Craftcentral.ie for the crack. You'll see them on there. I might actually, just in between questions and stuff here, I'll actually I'll just put them in just to see what kind of money we're talking about in that here. So,
your eyes will close up.
Oh, my stream has slowed down, is it?
No, you're okay. It gives you that sometimes. It gives you that the Wi-Fi is slowing down and. So, what's everyone drinking? Who's watching in the chat? Thanks for everyone who's commented and watched us. If you want to see his page, this is nice Pint YouTube page.
Yeah, I've really got to work on the images there, you know.
Well, mine is terrible. So if you want to work on some images, you work on my one. And my thumbnails and it's just terrible. My quality is not great now.
It can be difficult to get a nice thumbnail for each one. Like I'd say, it's I was there and I was putting a lot of more time into editing than maybe focusing on maybe the sound quality and stuff like that. And it was taking ages to put the videos together. So I was creating thumbnails and stuff for them as well. But in the end, I got a little bit lazy and I started using the same one over and over and over again then. But search for Omnipollo. Okay, right. I'm going to do that now, Alan. I see one for $3.99.
That's you can go a bit higher, I think.
Oh, Jesus.
Go new beers.
Come on. Blueberry Bianca Noah Pecan Coconut Blueberry Mud Cake, 7% ABV, $18.75 a can. Oh, Jesus. I tell you what, hey.
Go on, buy one.
Oh, you know, if I end up with one, I'll be here and I'll be like, this is your fault, you know. And if I get kicked out of my house, if my house gets repossessed, I said, Thomas and Alan, it's all your fault.
I don't know who buys them. They're a little bit overpriced, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like you want to pay for quality, like you want quality beers, and you want to pay for quality. But I just think $18.95
Yeah,
for beers.
Some of the beers, yeah, but especially some of the imports, and especially some of the beers at Craft Central, some of the imports can be on the pricey side, and you can never, especially if you're coming from America, you don't know how long they've sat in a container, and the quality would worry me.
That's the thing, because if it's in, depending, well, I think they say cans is actually the best quality that you can get in terms of can via bottle, for example. But you come across bottles that have skunked and stuff like that, where it's just where it's been stored, and
yeah,
you can when it's coming over from across the water from somewhere like the United States, yeah, you are taking a bit of a chance too. So, but hey, that's how it is. Okay, Beardy Beer Reviews. He is fully behind Omnipollo. It cost him £18.50. But it was good. Imagine
buy the beer. He's more than welcome.
You know, the thing is, you're taking a chance there. Imagine buying that and it to be shite. You know, like that's the other side of it. You know, how paced would you be then? So who else is checking in? By the way, you told me you did a homebrew. I have never done that
before. It exploded like the last one I put up on YouTube. Went everywhere, so I got about half it.
Oh, the bottle.
Yeah.
Was it I saw that. Why did it explode?
I think I overcarbonated a little too much.
Just a little bit too much. Yeah, I've never tried homebrewing. Now I know there's a guy based in Ireland doing videos, Views on Brews. You've talked to Brendan before. Brendan is big into that. He's an excellent an excellent reviewer. Yeah, he can pull a beer apart very easily. Like he's very good.
I can't pull anything apart, but it's just
he can tell you the hops.
He's part of the Midlands Beer Club. I'm kind of part of it, but yeah, brilliant club, Midlands Beer. But Brendan, yeah, he's an excellent brewer there.
Yeah. I see he collaborated with I think it was White Street Brewing as well on a beer. So they're in Ballymahan in Longford. So like I haven't tried proper home brewing, but maybe someday. And I'll try and avoid the over-carbonating, the exploding bottles.
That would be a voice, yeah. I think I added a bit too much fruit to it. It was meant to be a strawberry stout, but yeah.
And tell me, Thomas, like, can we reverse roles here? Can I ask you what got you into YouTube?
I was bored, and I started watching these people like Scott and Wanda. You can blame Scott and Wanda for getting me down this YouTube route, and people like Kent Beer Reviews and Harry from Blue Nose, and there are too many. I actually have a video of beer tubers of UK and Ireland. If you want to check it out, so you can blame
I have seen it. I have seen it.
You can blame all the people on that video for getting me into this. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah. It's great. Like the thing is, if you ask someone that has a channel that has thousands of subscribers and stuff like that, they'll just say, just go for it, try it, give it a lash.
Yeah.
See, you won't know how you're going to get onto. You try it, like like I wouldn't have known about a beer called Omnipollo, which is £19.50, if I wasn't here with you right now.
So you can blame me when you're getting kicked out of your house.
My car is repossessed. My house is repossessed.
Yeah, but you
lose my job because I can't get into work because I have no car. I'll come that live stream with Thomas from Window Beer Reviews.
So what's the most you've spent on a beer then?
Are we on about a can like cans of bottles? Canned beers? It's probably not been that much. I purchased a lot of gift sets from Belgium, so I got the proper glass and that kind of stuff with them.
Beers of Belgium or something like them?
I bought them from Tremlin House of Madness, and so I got like, I was buying boxes of Trappist beers and stuff like that. And so those sets, you might be only getting 4 beers. You get 4 beers in a glass and you'll be talking about, I don't know, maybe 25 quid or something like that. 25 quid. I'd say they were probably the most expensive in cans and bottles and stuff like that, to be honest with you, because I haven't gone down the line of searching out the most expensive beers in Ireland to try yet, because most of the stuff that I've done was on the machines, really. So I see Alan, what's your favorite type of beer? That's a difficult one to answer because it's changing all the time. Say if you go back 12 months, I would never have really drank an IPA. And now I quite like some of the juicy ones, there's certain ones I like, so but the Belgian, I love Belgian beer. I was drinking Quack on the Perfect Draft System last week. But it's quite strong at 8.4% ABV, I think it is. So you have to, when you have 10.5 pints of that loaded on a Perfect Draft System, you have to kind of, take it handy. You could end up on the floor or the couch very easily when you have them loaded in a machine like that. I do love Belgian beers, really, but like one of my favorite beers is, like, even though it's owned by AB InBev now, I do really like even just the likes of L'Effet Blanc, for example. Like, it's a good solid beer. It's 6.6%. It's all right. It's strong, but not as strong as some of the other stuff you can get. I see Joe, speaking of Belgium, isn't that Joe? Joe's from Belgium, isn't he?
Yeah.
I see him checking in there.
Hi, Joe. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah. So if you're going for my favorite style, probably would be stouts. So.
Yeah. Like stouts aren't for well, I suppose like every style like is not for everyone, but like I was reading Super Value had a thing. They released a leaflet there a few months ago that was in their off license section, and one of the lines that was in it, there's people would say that, I'm not into beer, I don't like beer, and the line was, people who say they don't like beer just haven't found the one that they like yet, because there's just a world of beers out there.
Yeah.
And then they had like if you like wine, you'll like this kind of beer, and if you like this, you like this kind of beer, that kind of thing. So I thought that was a really good idea by Super Value, and it was a really good point, because you do have people out there that'll say, I don't like beer, and it's like, no, here, listen, try this out. This is from O'Hara's, or this is from 8 Degrees Brewing, or this is from 9 White Deer, or whatever, Galway Bay. There's different types of beers out there, and sure, it's just a matter of time before they find something that they like.
So I suppose getting back on to then, how many breweries do you think are in Ireland then? I only have a rough estimate. I can't remember the last time I checked it.
They did a map on this. I didn't actually I didn't see the actual number, but they were doing a map.
Give it a guess then, because I only have a rough. Last time I checked it, and I went through it and went to the ones that are actually still a brewery. There's a couple of them are not active.
You see, like there's like I'm originally from County Mayo, and in County Mayo there are breweries there that I think there's one in Crossmolina that I wasn't quite aware of at all, but it's a very small scale one, I think. But
I think that's Connemara that was in Aldi, wasn't it?
Connemara, I'm not sure. I haven't come across the Connemara one. Well, Connemara then is Galway technically, so I haven't come across the Connemara one. It's God. I don't know. I'll take a guess. Let's see. Alan is saying 75. I'm going to say more than 75. I'm going to say 120.
Well, I have 90. That's the last time I checked now, but that I could be wrong. That's now breweries, and we say brands. So say if someone's brewing on someone else's kit.
Oh, are you saying? Would you count Rye River as having?
No, Rye River. I would count Rye River as being one, but
as being one. All right, okay.
I can't give you an example, but there are some who brew off other people's kits. I think
90. There are 90 breweries. I don't know. I probably only had maybe.
Probably about 75 to have their own individual kits out there, I think.
Yeah, because it's amazing. There's actually there's some out there that just they get other people to brew the beers for them, and they give them the recipe.
Now in Kilkenny. They're based in Kilkenny, but I'm not sure. I think it's a brew who. I think they're on. It's someone. I can't think who's brewing the beer for them yet. They haven't built their own brewery yet in Kilkenny. So
it's considering what there are 32 counties. Are you referring to the Republic of Ireland or the island of Ireland?
I think it's Ireland, yeah.
Like 32 counties having 90 brands, 90 breweries. Actually, it's quite impressive, isn't it? Really, to be honest. But I just say there was a couple of comments that we missed there. Alan loves a Weiss beer. Well, this is the one out of the pinter. Now, it's not as good as, say, a Franciscaner or a Polliner, but it's all right. It's fine. Weiss beer is quite nice. There's actually a video. My very first, what do you call it, Franciscaner on. I had it on a video. I had never had it before because my work colleague was raving about it, so I tried it, and I was pleasantly surprised. Actually, really liked it. Stouts in the winter and Christmas time. Yeah, for me, it's hard to drink a stout when it's 25 or 30 degrees outside. Did you do it?
I had one of the 200 fathoms I got for Christmas there. The 12%, it was 12% from Galway Bay. My birthday was in July there, so my birthday I had 12% stout. That's what I always
a 12% stout. Yeah, your birthday. Say that again.
I think it was about 25 degrees when I was having it. So
25 degrees, drinking a 12% stout. I imagine it was really it was quite thick-bodied, I'd imagine as well. Quite heavy. Alan was asking, what do we think of sour beers? Believe it or not, Alan, I don't think I've actually had one yet, to be honest. I don't think I've actually had it. I don't think I've actually had what you call a sour yet. Or can we have one? Can we count beers that have gone off?
You have that lovely website of Craft Central Open. There's got to be a few sours, so it's only €5 delivery. So
yeah, I'll pick up a few sours. You actually can get a sour on the Pinter, which I don't know what it is. When I'm in the supermarkets, I've looked and I've seen, okay, this is a sour, and I'm like, no, I'll leave that one and I'll just go for something else here. And like I said, most of the stuff was on the machines, and there was no sours on the machines. So
I wouldn't go for a sour machine just in case you don't like sours. And then
I don't think you can't get one for the blade or the perfect draft.
Because it can infect your machine, so they wouldn't probably put on the machines.
Oh, you mean on the Linder machine?
Yeah, they're infected. Like you wouldn't be cleaning 100%, and
yeah,
probably could infect them. I say that's why they don't put them on.
I'm going to make it my business to pick up a sour over the weekend, and we'll put the video up and dedicate it to Thomas and Alan. I must get the pint with the crack and get a few packs for it, says Alan. It's a bit of fun. I think the only thing is they're not delivering to the Republic of Ireland yet, but it's only a matter of time. I think they are. They did tell me they're working on it. It will eventually come to the Republic of Ireland.
Probably need someone to distribute it through probably Ireland. So someone will probably distribute it for them through the country, I think.
Yeah, it's like the packs are really cheap. Like you're getting 10 pints out of it, and it's the fun of kind of. It's not that the beers are top. Well, look at. If you brew them, if you brew them for the maximum amount, I haven't done that yet. I've been doing the minimum amount because I'm impatient. they give you, let me see. So for example, like that's the Weiss Nights one, and it says brewing time 4 days, conditioning time 3 days. But if you want, what you can do is they actually tell you ferment it for an extra day, 5 days in total, and condition for up to 7 days in total, and it'll produce a more rounded flavor. And that's written on there as well. But I just went for the minimum. But I certainly noticed the longer it's been in the fridge, there's a bigger difference in the beer. It's cleared up and the flavor has changed slightly. But they're releasing more and more beers for that all the time. So yeah, it's a bit of fun. It's not that expensive either. It was £85 and you're getting 20 pints with that. So nothing wrong with that. I think it's quite cheap, and it's quite, I think it's nearly like an ideal present because at the price of it and the quirkiness of it, I think it's a good present for someone.
Yeah, once you get the kits anyhow, that's, I think, it's something to look into. I think because once you can put it in the fridge, and because that's their main point when you're doing the brewing, is keeping the temperature steady.
That's keeping it cold or keeping it? Do you have to put
consistent temperature? I think.
Yeah,
that's the main point.
I'll try it someday. Actually, Keith, who wrote on this video there a while ago, he's tried it before. Now I haven't tried anything he's brewed, but is the quality? I know it's different for everyone. What was the quality of stuff you made, Thomas? What did you think of it?
This one, no, it's terrible. I'm having problems with getting the temperature. That's my biggest problem. Getting somewhere consistently where the temperature doesn't go up and down.
Yeah.
That's my main problem. So I have to get something like a fermenting fridge or something. Yeah, that's on the list sometime. I only brew a couple of 5-6 brews a year, maybe.
Okay. What about Joe and Alan and whoever else is watching there? Have you tried home brews before? And how did you get on? What kind of beer did you make? And did you enjoy it? And did you have exploding bottles like Thomas? Comment.
If you don't have an exploding bottle, you haven't home brewed. If it hasn't hit the roof, I have to let it ferment.
It's like a champagne.
Yeah.
Joe, what are you drinking right now? Are you having a drink at the moment? It's probably something mad, like it's probably 9% or something you've got over there right now. Whatever it is.
Out there.
Actually, somewhere. Actually, I'll ask you the question because I've been thinking about this. Is there somewhere you want to? Have you planned a holiday that would you probably call a beer holiday? Have you anything kind of planned over the next few months?
No holidays. No money at the moment. So 4 new tires in the car today. So definitely no holiday.
Stop buying Omnipollo and get on a plane.
If you would like to buy me a bottle, all beer donations are welcome. And beer machines. If anyone's finished with beer machines, you can gladly pass them on. If you have beer machines, you can gladly donate them to me.
For the price of one of those Omnipollo beers, you can get a flight to England now. Ryanair from Knock Airport. Haven't tried it yet. My buddy makes a cracking brown ale. It was beautiful. Tried to make an IPA and failed miserably. Yeah, I'd imagine the IPA, like, I don't know how to brew properly, so I don't know how complicated it'd be, but I imagine the IPA, you're adding in more
hops. So your
more
hops,
hops, yeah.
during your boil, after your boil, so for your flavor, you put them at the start for the bitterness, put them at the end for the flavor, and then you're dry hopping. So it's just whatever hops you want to add, whatever kind of flavors.
I am drinking Russian IPA. Man, Joe. I said 9%. He says he's having an 8.5% ABV Russian IPA. The stuff that man he gets hold of is just mad.
The amount he can get hold of is impressive.
Yeah. I'd love a great craft beer festival in Ireland. It would be brilliant. Do we have anything in Ireland at the minute? Like I said, I'm new to this, so is there? I know, obviously, due to the pandemic, there was nothing, obviously. But
there's a few festivals. There was one, but it didn't happen 2 years ago. They stopped it. It was in the convention centre in Dublin, which was pretty handy for people going up, I thought. There's a few of them. I can't name offhand. I don't know if they're going to come back.
Didn't White Hag? Well, I don't know. It's just all White Hag beers or what?
Yeah, White Hag run their own festival, and they have. I think it's this weekend. They have the festival box out, so it's meant to be like the festival. Yeah, there's a few of them. White Hag's festival. I haven't been to it actually, but I think it would be good crack. So high ABV, lots of imports, and
€20 beers. So.
No, you pay your ticket and.
All right, okay. When you buy your ticket, do you just get in and get to try whatever's there? Is that how it works?
For White Hags, it is just so you're only sampling beers, so you wouldn't be getting pints. I think I'm not sure how they handle it. I've only heard of it, but you wouldn't be. So you're not going to be drinking a pint of a 10% beer.
Oh, you want to remember everything that you're trying, like.
Yeah.
Alan says. I was jealous watching the lads at Brew London last weekend. I watched it. Yeah. You know what I found really funny about that? I was watching it. It was on Simon's channel, and Paul was there. Yeah. Paul was there, and John from Lords. I think John is a great character. I think John and Paul are great characters. John is a pure messer as well. You know, I like watching the lads when they're on. But it was funny when they were kind of like. All the reviewers just started showing up, and they're all in the background there. I think what was it? Who had you? You'd Ras? Is it Rasco and Disco? You one of the lads?
Yeah, Disco. One of them.
Disco. You'd was it
Paul
Craig? Paul? Was it Craig? Was that the other guy? Craig?
Yeah, Ken Fear Reviews. Craig.
That was They just it was like a reunion of all the lads that have just kind of been. That I've been subscribing to and stuff on YouTube over the last while, but it looked like a fantastic weekend.
It looked a good setup, yeah.
The lads are overlooking everything from where they were, and you could hear the music in the background. You could see the crowds. They were bringing up their brewers. Some of the breweries that they mentioned that were there, that were they were excellent. Some of the ones to be aware of as well. Vocation were there. Paul said he had Life and Death on draft, and I can only imagine how nice that would be. So I would have loved to have been at Brew London, but.
So I think for that festival, I think it was £50 per ticket, but you don't. That's it. You go around, and you don't pay. You don't pay anything to get the beers. That's all the beer you can drink then. But I think it was a session, so we had an afternoon session and an evening session. So I'm not sure what way it worked after that. So that's what you kind of, for festivals, that's the kind of money.
They were doing talks as well. I saw they were doing presentations and talks on different things. Like the lads from the Pint were actually doing a thing on innovation. They did. I saw they had how to talk about beer to sound like you know what you're talking about was one of the presentations I think that were on the day. Alan, I'm on the 7.5% Hope Brewery Overnight Oats IPA. It's stunning. Is that a collaboration with Flavins?
What a surprise! Alan drinking Hope Brewery. That's shocking. The brewery just down the road from him.
Overnight Oats. I can't imagine what that tastes like.
Well, your oats would make the beer creamy.
It's going to be thick. It's going to be thick. It's going to have a big head on it and stuff, isn't it?
Well,
So,
no, it'd make it more creamy. So, like if you're drinking a stout and it's really creamy and thick, there's lots of oats probably in it. That's why you'd add oats to it.
Rasco, John from it did. It looked like great fun. All we needed was to throw an Irish lad in the middle of it.
Well, Kilkenny Brewery or Sullivan's Brewery were there. I only seen that they actually put out something at the end of the weekend, and they're actually there with a stand. So there was one Irish brewery there.
Oh, right, okay.
I suppose we'll go on to the weird questions because I like asking some weird questions.
Oh, Eric, let me see. Can I fill this up? I think I'm going low on my pointer here. I don't know if it's going to. Come on, it's going to take. It's gone slow here now. But yeah, go on, ask away.
Because you might need some time to answer this question.
Go for it.
Okay. 3 people living and 3 people dead that you will invite to a dinner party.
3 people living and 3 people dead.
Famous or family, or you can go different. You can go with say 3 people you know or 3 people who are famous you don't. I'm going to get a drink. You think of your answer.
God, I think I need help with this one, lads. While he's away. 3 people living, 3 people dead. God. I'm trying to think of the really famous people that are just mad crack.
Come on, anyone.
There's actually, the one of the people, as imposing as the man is, I'd love to have him at a dinner party, probably because as a child I watched him on TV a lot. Dwayne Johnson would be at my dinner party. Dwayne Johnson would definitely be there. The Rock. Michael G. Let me see. God. I'd probably The Rock, Charlie Sheen, because he's a madman. Because I love watching 2.5 Men, and which was, anger management. 2.5 Men it's just ridiculous how kind of like a lot of it kind of represented who he was as well. Charlie Sheen, Charlie Sheen, The Rock, and Tommy Tiernan.
He's not dead.
Yeah, but you said 3 people alive.
Dead. No. Oh, alive. Okay, alive. Okay.
Did you say? Oh, sorry. I need to include some dead people.
Alive and 3 people are dead. Yeah.
Oh, Freddie Starr. Let's put Freddie Starr in there. Do you know Freddie Starr?
I think so.
Oh, you got to look him up. They're basically, look at. I never thought of women. I should have really included a woman there somewhere. But yeah, look at the 3. Look at the people I mentioned there are a bit mad. So yeah, you wouldn't be short for entertainment with that crowd around. That's for sure.
Okay, next question is coming up. If I can put it in the chat. Here we go. Can you see it?
Are we alone?
Yeah.
Are we?
I don't know. You answered. My question.
What does that mean? There's no one here. Is there anyone there? Because how do we? What does that? Oh, do you mean does "are we alone" mean like is there other forms of life outside of planet Earth? Is that where we're going with this? Like, no.
Go whatever way you want.
What kind of question is this? Alan Reed, no, the truth is out there. I have no idea how to answer that. Actually, I'm going to say no. We're not. We're not alone. There's spirits around us. There's ghosts around us. They're watching us all the time. There's robins flying in, sitting on the verge of kitchen tables and stuff like that, who are probably loved ones of ours that have passed. And there's probably aliens out there as well. quite possibly aliens out there. There's got to be form of life out there somewhere. So does that answer the question? Because I have no idea whatever anybody else said to that.
Okay, next question then. Are you religious?
Oh, am I religious? It's. I believe that there is something. If we're talking about afterlife and that kind of thing, I believe that there's something out there. Don't know exactly what it is. And in terms of practicing religion, I look at. I like most people in the Republic of Ireland. I was brought up as a Catholic, but it. Do I go to mass every week? No. I don't pray all the time. I don't go to mass every week. But if someone asks me, when am I? I'm a Catholic. So I don't know how we even answered this question. On paper, I am. But I believe there's something.
Okay. We'll go with the next question then. You've answered that. You're an Irish Catholic, basically.
What do you pick for your last meal? Steak is too basic, is it? I love it. I
need 3 courses here, like if you want 3 courses. One starter, main, and dessert.
Oh my god! Let's say I do love steak now. I have to say I love steak, but I also love Mexican food. So I love the Mexican, and then I was talking to a Mexican person. They said, "Well, a lot of this stuff isn't actually Mexican; it's Tex-Mex." But I'll tell you what, I'll include the whole lot. So starter, because this can be a starter. So you can have nachos as a starter. So I love nachos. I love those kind of picky foods that you just have, like with nachos. You've got spice, you've got the guacamole and the sour cream in there as well. It's nice. Yeah, I like nachos. Nachos as a starter. Main course would be probably a steak sandwich, proper big lump of steak. There's a steakhouse not far from me that do a great one. So big lump of steak with mushrooms and onions and pepper sauce, and you can't beat the steak. Dessert, baked Alaska.
Okay.
Baked Alaska for dessert. Yeah, I love baked Alaska.
Sorry,
well, I'd be a good eyewitness to a crime.
Would you be good with it? Sorry, I'm trying to write.
You see, the thing is, if I'm not in the house, right? It depends when it happens. If it happened at the weekend, I could. If I was out and I had a few pints, I'd wake up the next morning and probably wouldn't remember the bloody thing. Probably wouldn't be a great eyewitness at all. I'd say no to that. I probably wouldn't be. How do you describing what happened? I just couldn't put things into words, even when I'm even if I saw something sober, I probably couldn't put it into words in the right way. Nachos or spicy hot wings as a starter, definitely. Yes, Alan, beautiful. Absolutely love that. Some starters that you get at meals, it's just kind of it's like, why did I get this? It's like one thing and a little bit of salad beside it. If you're getting your spices in your starter, then that satisfies that urge for it in your main. Do I believe in ghosts? Where did you come up with all of these? Do you believe in ghosts? Do I believe in ghosts? There's something telling me that there's something it may not be what you'd call a ghost, but there's something really weird that goes on sometimes. Some things happen and you think, how the hell did that happen? I've often woken up in the middle of the night and thought that there was a friend of mine that passed years ago just was there. It was as mad as that sounds. And then there was stuff that happened with a grandmother of mine that died, wherever it is now, about 20 years ago. There was some strange things that happened around that time, and it just made me think, there's something weird going on out there, lads. I don't know what it is. So it's leaning towards a yes, but it's not entirely what we see ghosts are. There's something else, I think. If you're standing in front of your 16-year-old self, what advice would you give them? Actually, I have an answer for that, because I had a choice between 2 different careers, really. There was 2 different things I was thinking of doing, and I don't know if I chose the right one. There was something, I was an All-Ireland darts champion when I was 17. And that's 16. But I was in a final for €5,000 when I was 16 years old. I played someone that was 40 odd when I was 16 for $5,000. It was in a league thing. And now I lost the final, but I came away with over €1,000 for coming second. And I was never kind of encouraged to pursue darts as a career. But as time went on, when I was 17, 18, I won a lot of senior competitions. I had an All Ireland under 18s title as well. So I kind of have a regret that I kind of put darts away when I went to college at 18. But I have a job now. It's kind of a solid job, but it's I always kind of wonder what would have happened if I put time into darts at the time. So PS5 or Xbox? I have a PS5. I actually only got it last week, Alan. But now I want Xbox for the new Microsoft Flight Sim game. I tell you, it must be. I tell you, the Microsoft Flight Simulator. I played one on the PC 20 years ago, and it was cool at the time. But I don't know how good the Microsoft Flight Sim is on the Xbox.
I would have tried to describe you with 3 words. If you are friends, sorry.
There's a dig right there.
Well, it's Friday night and you're talking to me, so
let me see. Talkative.
Hi, Vanessa. How you doing?
Talkative. I would have said mad for crack is probably the one, but to put things in 3 words like that. But if you wanted to have 3 terms, talkative, loud, and outgoing are probably them. Loyal, actually, yeah, I'd be fairly loyal and I'd be friendly enough. I'd be friendly to my friends, of course. I'm not someone. I never insult anyone. I'd always, I talk to the wall. I talk to the wall. I'd never be insulting towards anyone or anything like that. So, I don't know how you put what the 3 words are that I should be using there. But who is your hero? My words. How do you answer this? What have other people been saying? How long have other people took to answer these questions? Who is my hero? I don't know. In terms of sport, growing up, I was a big fan of Phil Taylor. Sport, Phil Taylor. Huge fan of his as an air player. I was lucky I even got to play him in a match before. I worked with him on a couple of things. The Rock, says Alan. It's not The Rock. I love the man behind The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He's a great character. He's very motivational in his videos and stuff online. So I really do like that. I would love to have thought about that question a lot more. Off the cuff, I'd be saying probably Phil Taylor. Okay. As a sporting hero for me.
Okay. Let's see. We'll try this one.
Vanessa, thank you so much for adding me. What makes you laugh the most? Do we talk about a program or do we talk about what makes you laugh the most?
Yeah,
do I kind of like categorize a movie or a TV show or something like that?
No, we say a TV show. Yeah, what?
I'm actually. Do you know what I love? I love the really raunchy comedies. That's what I love. I love those, like the American Pies and the South Parks and stuff like that. I really love all that kind of stuff. There's a program called Big Mouth on Netflix as well. Keith is back. Keith, how are you getting on, buddy? He's on the Stag South. Only Fools and Horses, says Alan Mead. Only Fools and Horses was great. Absolutely loved it. I was a massive fan of Only Fools and Horses as well. It was like you could watch it over and over and over again. Father Ted, great program. You know, if you're talking about programs, Father Ted, excellent. Young Offenders, excellent. My favorite movie. What is my favorite movie? It's anything I've watched over and over and over. Oh, God, movies.
Okay, our favorite TV show, then. Come on.
Oh, my favorite TV show. That it's always going to be a comedy of sorts. I love the old 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen before Ashton Kutcher came in. Father Ted is in there for sure. Love Father Ted. You just don't go a day in the life of an Irish person and not not quote Father Ted in some way. You know, there's always something that you can just throw a Father Ted quote from. And I like the Young Offenders as well. There's actually, do you want? There's a great program I watch. You might be interested in this, Thomas. It's not your typical type of series. More of a reality thing. It's called Bar Rescue. Have you watched that?
I've watched some of it. Yeah.
Bar Rescue is a great program. It's like the what do you call it? Like Hell's Kitchen, except it's bars. So
what rescue for bars or something.
Yeah, it's John Taffer going into these American bars. You watch the Irish bars where he goes in, he turns Irish bars around.
Yeah.
The bar science is excellent. I really like that. It's such an educational program, and anyone that is involved in the bar industry in Ireland should probably watch it because you'd learn a lot from it. I think it's a fantastic show. So I actually sit down, I binge watch that here regularly. When it comes to TV and movies, what I watch, I watch things rarely, to be honest with you. I watch more YouTube now than movies and TV shows. But when I watch either a comedy or something like Bar Rescue. Perfect Draft, Blade, and Linder. I need kegs though, so a generator. Let me see, because a generator, a Linder, and is the island warm? What kind of temperatures is this deserted island now, Thomas? So I can make up my mind on the third one. Is it warm or is it cold or what is it?
Cold, Arnold.
Arnold cold. 9 White Deer Stag Stout would be the third one. Yeah, we'll bring 20 litres of that with me. So we've got the generator, we're powering the Linder system, and we've got 9 White Deer Stag Stout with me as well, just because it's winter.
Okay, I'm sorry to all the comments I've missed, Dermot, but we'll go on to this question and we'll go back to the questions I've missed now.
What island? Love Island. What would be your perfect? Are you on about things that happen, or are you on about the weather?
No, a perfect day. We say you wake up tomorrow. What would be the perfect day?
Do I? Let's see. Breakfast in bed. Let me see. Breakfast in bed. That must mean someone else is here as well. So let me see. Breakfast in bed. A trip to Downpatrick Head in North Mayo, which is absolutely beautiful. It's such a and then come back into a steakhouse. A nice, fine, massive steak, 14-ounce steak, pints of. Actually, if I could drink it with some Leffe Blonde, I'd take some Leffe Blonde with it. Then back to the house, more beer, some picky foods like a cheese board, which I absolutely love. I'd eat cheese boards till the cows come home. And in the company of, I'm single, so I can say this, in the company of a kind, beautiful lady, Thomas. That would probably be the ideal day.
Thanks.
Oh, we got to mention Joe. Joe's not happy. His comments aren't being read out.
Sorry, but there is a disclaimer below. Comments might not be read out. Yeah. We'll go back to Joe's comments then. I forgot where he's. Yeah, let's bring up this one then.
Snakebite was awesome against our Belgian dancing king, Peter Wright. Peter Wright is a like, I love how Peter Wright kept at it. You actually see Peter Wright playing at Lakeside back in, I think, the late 90s, and he looks entirely different actually back then. He he didn't have the big Mohican style, kind of like spiked hair and stuff back then. Yeah, I haven't. I don't actually, believe it or not, I don't watch that much darts anymore on TV. I would have watched it a lot more, during the Taylor years, the Phil Taylor years. There's competitions on all the time now. I used to sit down and I remember, like, I don't even think they do this anymore. The Las Vegas Desert Classic used to be a thing, and you'd look forward to the UK Open, and you'd have the match play, the World Championships, Lakeside BDO was going and stuff as well. And I used to watch it a lot more a few years ago, because I don't play darts as much anymore. I don't really watch it as much as I should. But yeah, Peter Wright's a great player. And what's that Belgian guy's name again? Dimitri Vandenberg. He did an exhibition not too far from here before as well. Great players. The standard of darts is now ridiculous. It's gone through the roof. Like, the averages they're hitting is unbelievable. The Most Fertile Man in Ireland. That was a great movie, Keith. There was ginger lads everywhere. They were all over the place. That was an excellent movie. Who else have we got there? Just try and catch up on a couple of the comments. Yeah. Alan Mead would take Westlife on an island with him, I think. I think that's what he said there.
Because they might actually send a rescue party for Westlife. Yeah.
Keep the oh yeah, there we are. Keep the kegs cool in the sea. Just run a good beer line, and yeah, that would actually work, Keith. That's not a bad idea. Place in Amarillo, Texas has a 72-ounce steak dinner. Bloody hell! Bloody hell! How big is the plate? I saw a guy, actually. There was a radio station did a thing down in my home area where they challenged a man to eat this massive lump of steak, and I mean, like, it was that high. Like, I don't think you can even see that. Yeah, there we go. It was like that high off the plate, and it was like that wide. And the challenge was he had to eat every bit of it. It was like a man versus food kind of thing. Yeah. And now he did it. He like, I was jealous watching him eat it, because I would love to be trying that now. That would be class. But he got about 3/4 of the way through it. Now, I don't know what's that 72 ounces. I'd imagine it probably wasn't too far off it. But how? By the way, like, is a 72-ounce steak dinner like £100?
Well, it's probably, if you probably finish it, maybe it's for free. But if you don't, you probably pay whatever price.
I like those challenges. I'd like to take on a few of them. That'd be an idea. There we are, Thomas. Now, we collaborate and we take on some of the food challenges around Ireland. How about it?
So how are you with spice then?
Not too bad, actually. I'm not too bad with spice. I think I can handle spice quite well. Mind you,
if I set you a spice challenge, would you be up for it?
Send me. Is this this is a thing you buy? Is it?
This is a double reaper. Spice Easy have a YouTube channel, and Al from the channel makes spice packs, and his reaper is actually classic, really lovely food to eat.
What is it? So, so are you meant to just take the sauce on its own, or are you meant to have it?
No, he sent you a pack, so you will make up the dinner. You will add the pack, so you have chicken or beef, whichever you choose, and then it will be spicy. You up for it?
I'd be interested in that. Now, I do actually have a food allergy, which I'll have to just double check with. But actually,
whatever allergy you have, I'll make them up all himself, so he can exclude items if you're allergic to them.
My God. Right. Okay. I'd be up for that. I'd take something on like that for the crack. I don't think I'm too bad. But then again, I've never been pushed. My limits have not been pushed because I haven't actually gone out there purposely looking for something. But like, I've been to, like, for example, a former housemate of mine, and I were out having a few pints, and we went, like, one of the takeaways locally is like an Indian style takeaway. So we got vindaloos. Never had them before, but we also had ordered like a kebab just in case the old vindaloo didn't work out, you know. So we got the got the vindaloos. I finished it, but now it was quite hot. The other lad was there and he was eating the vindaloo, and he says, "This is grand, you know, James. This is fine. There's nothing wrong with this." And about a minute later, he starts jumping off the seat, holding his stomach, and he was in pain. It was that burning him that much. His stomach was sore. And he ended up getting sick. He ran to the bathroom and got sick. He just couldn't do it. He wasn't able for it. But I didn't mind. Like Vindaloo, I managed okay. But it was hot. But, you know.
Well, for the Reaper, multiply that by 10.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What do people recommend to drink with these things? Or you can't drink anything?
You won't be drinking much with this Reaper. It comes with its own disclaimer.
Oh, it comes with a disclaimer. Okay. I would be up for that.
After this, search Spice and Easy Reaper pack or something. You will get, even if Scott has tried it from Scott and Monda. So you can search his video.
I'll have to. I don't know. Am I better not? Am I better watching the videos or not watching the videos? I wonder, because I might.
Well,
a lot of it is mental. A lot of it is in your head.
Brexit, whether Al can still send. I've got some of the packs off him. I haven't been brave enough to try the Reaper, but if you're up for it,
I think I'll try something out for the crack. Sure, why not? Life is for living, and his life is for variety. That's what it's all about. That's it. If I survive, are you asking me what would be my last meal for just in case I have that spice pack and I just don't make it out alive?
Okay.
Alan
Easy question now coming up. Easy question.
Dog. Straight up. Really? Dog. Why? Would you say a cat?
No, but
no. Why ask me why? you agree with me? I'd say a dog. Yeah, cats tend to don't like me at all. They tend to they leave marks on me all the time. I can't pet a cat without it nearly going for me. I don't know what it is. They just don't like me. Dogs, however, yeah, I like dogs. Dogs are they call them man's best friend, and yeah, dogs are loyal. There's a lot more character to a dog than a cat, I think. But yeah, I've got a dog in my family home that was originally meant to move here with me, but I haven't moved the dog here yet because I had people living here, so I didn't really want to have a dog when I was renting out rooms here. So, but maybe someday soon I'll bring the dog up. But like, yeah, I love the dog. So if I had to live in another time period,
yeah.
The Pirates had great crack. You know, you see the videos of them there drinking rum and beer and whatever, you know. I don't know. Another time. Well, actually, you know what? I was born in the 90s. I would love to have been, because of I love music. I would have loved to have been, you know, around at an age that I could have enjoyed the music of the 80s. The late 70s. If I could have been like 18, 19, 20 in like the late 70s going into the 80s, I would have been quite happy, because you would have the music that was around then and the nightlife and stuff was completely different. You know, you often hear of I don't know what age you are, Thomas, but I often hear, you know, people talking about how great bars and stuff were back in the 80s and 90s, and nightclubs, and well, you know, if nightclubs were a bit of a thing as well. But you know, like the nightlife was different in rural Ireland. Like I'm in rural Ireland. You're in Carlow, Thomas, aren't you? So yeah. So like, you know, rural life was entirely different. You know, the local pubs and stuff, there were busy. There was a lot more of a buzz around. There was more employment in some places as well, because you had different types of factories around locally as well. But
then you're probably less than minimum wage, surviving week to week. Like we won't get into that. I think that's
surviving week to week, but also, you know, the price of pints were a lot cheaper as well. But yeah, I would have loved to late 70s into the 80s. I would have actually, just because of the music and the type of nightlife that was there, I would have loved to have gone through that.
Okay. So the next question is: do you speak a foreign language? And if you don't, what would you like to speak?
Spanish.
Okay.
Spanish. Yeah, Spanish. I always said that. I learned French in secondary school. I could never see why, because the only country that speaks French that I would want to visit was France. Alan Mead agrees. Spanish. If you speak Spanish, if you speak Spanish, you've got most of Portuguese as well, because Portuguese and Spanish, there isn't a massive difference between the two languages. There are minor differences. If you can speak Spanish, you can nearly speak. Joe's not happy. Are we missing Joe's comments there?
Sorry, Joe.
No, don't leave us. Sorry. If I can,
sorry, Joe.
Is it because I don't? Sorry, Joe speaks French.
Sorry, Joe. I apologize.
As far from England, I like Verdant Brewing Company, Gypsy Ale, and Vocation. What I don't like is that you serve these 4% pints. Yeah, and actually they're probably less than 4%, Joe. And you're right. The people that drink those won't try craft beer. He is right. A lot of them, like, I'd love to be able to walk down the road and drink. If Vocation, for example, was I know it's a Yorkshire beer, but if Vocation was on draft, I'd go for Vocation Life and Death. 100%, I'd choose that over your Heinekens and your Budweisers and whatever that's there. So I agree with Joe. Yeah, it's just a pity that most of the bars in certainly, well, I'm only talking from rural Ireland perspectives, that most of the bars don't actually have a craft beer selection.
Well, it would take something deeper to change, say, even a town in the say a Midland, let's say, like even Carlow Town. Even getting, say, even O'Hara's, which is a Carlow brewery, it's hard enough. Like, you have one or two pubs which do have taps.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So, okay, next question.
Back to Spanish. Yes, definitely Spanish. And the reason I'd say Spanish is because look, you can explore all of South America. All of South America, you can pretty much explore it, bar Brazil, but you have most of the language already because they speak Portuguese there, but because they speak Portuguese and you learn, if you know Spanish, you've got most of the language already. You know,
if you go through the countries in Africa that were colonized by France, you're pretty okay if you have French.
If you got French, yeah. I don't know. There's just I prefer South America. There's a lot more to see there.
Have you been?
No, I haven't been there yet, but I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
So once I start making a few bob again, I'll have some spare money to the side. When I work in entertainment as well, so when live music and stuff is back, I'll start planning holidays then. Do you have any regrets? I answered this earlier on, and the regret I have is that I didn't pursue darts when I was 18. That's probably yeah, because I went straight for radio at 18. I should have probably given darts 2 years, and I didn't. I put darts aside after winning some competitions when I was 17, 18, and I just put them away and focused on radio then. Joe is back. Yes, Joe. Gracias. Obrigado. What's thank you in French? I think he'd understand that. I don't know. Is it in Belgium you speak French and
Okay.
Oh my God, Alan Mead is reminding me of something. Hold on. I've left the beer in the fridge as well, or the freezer as well.
Okay. So again, thanks for everyone who has commented and questioned and joined in. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Joe. Whoever else is watching, thanks for watching. Really enjoyed us. Yeah, he thanks you for reminding him he left a beer in the freezer, which is always a disappointment when you do that. Eating it. What beer was it, Alan? What beer did you leave for 18.99? What? Has he broken it? He's dropped something.
I don't know if you're talking to me there, Thomas. I can't hear you.
No, yeah, it's okay.
There we go. I have no idea has that beer frozen solid or not, but
Don't break the place. I can sound really stupid now. I barely speak English, so for all of these people who speak multiple languages, microphone is not working. Nope.
How are we now?
Yeah, all good now.
Joe speaks Flemish. Sorry. What did you ask me there? Sorry.
I didn't ask anything.
Sorry.
Yeah, about any regrets you have. That's what the last question was.
Yeah, not pursuing darts properly is one of my biggest ones. Yeah, because I was decent enough at it. I didn't pursue it properly.
I suppose then you said you went into radio. If someone was thinking of going into radio, what advice would you give them? Not to go into it?
Radio, if you were to go into if you're into radio, a lot of people would say go. By the way, it depends kind of on what element of radio you want to do, because there's different sectors, different departments.
Yeah.
There's journalists, there are music presenters, there are people that work in creative, that make ads and stuff like that. There's different departments in the radio station. But my advice to anyone that wants to work in broadcasting is, I wouldn't focus on a 3 or 4 year course. You know how you see, new media and broadcasting 3-year course in Dublin or whatever. There's a course in Ballyfermot that I wanted to do, but I didn't actually do it. I did spend more time volunteering in community radio stations. I think there's one in Carlow. There's a Ross FM in Roscommon. There's CRC FM in Castlebar. There's places. There's a few in Dublin as well. And most counties have a number of community radio stations, but there's also online and internet stations now, because you've got your Alexas and you've got your apps and stuff like that. So my advice: just build up the experience through stuff like that, because if anyone wants to do it, try it out like that and keep, working at it in community radio and online radio, and put a demo together and send it off to your local station. You never know what might happen. That's what I did, and I got lucky. I was one of the lucky ones. So, hi lads, have you ever partied in Newcastle? You're always well. Oh, my brother told me Newcastle was great. I haven't been there.
Yeah, but, I've heard Newcastle's a pretty good place. We got somewhere to stay now. We could go to Newcastle. Paul will put us up.
Paul is putting us up. How many couches have you got, Paul? We'll bring an army over with us. We'll bring Alan Mead with us as well if you want.
I don't know. That could be dangerous. Alan's a pretty heavy partner. Okay. Let's get through the comments so I don't miss anything.
Alan's been there. He says it's amazing for a night out. I've heard it's great.
Paul said, get the couches ready as soon as we can travel.
Yes, I want to drink a beer fast sometimes also, and put in the freezer, and yeah, you know the drill. There's nothing worse than a beer like this when you get it just before it freezes. You know, it depends on what it is, by the way. But like I've landed in with 20 bottles from the supermarket like that, and said, right, you're going into the freezer, and you come back, and okay, you get to that point where they're just perfectly cold just before they freeze, and you're delighted with life. And then the next thing, if you forgot about it, like I did there, I don't know what this beer is like now, but you come back, and then the bottles have smashed, and the inside of them are you just can't go near it.
Alan's going to put us up on the couches.
Oh, great. Hey, Alan, I'm only a train ride away. There's a train station right beside my house here. I will go to Dublin. Does the COVID situation need to pass? Or are we going to go to the nightclubs and we're going to get some music in and all that kind of stuff? Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Let's go to Dublin. We've got an invite to Newcastle and Dublin, Thomas. This is great. What a great benefit of being on here already tonight. Like, I'm delighted. I need more money, though.
Yeah. Paul will pay for Newcastle and Alan will pay for Dublin.
We sleep where we fall, lads. That's the stuff, Paul. That's that stuff. And I love actually Paul's surname, because actually we did say that here. I was mortal last night. You know, if you had too many, I was mortal last night. So yeah. Actually, what places would you recommend is in Newcastle, Paul? And what beers would you recommend if we headed over to Newcastle? What would you recommend that are kind of like, as Thomas was asking earlier on, he asked me what my perfect day would be. What would be the perfect day and evening out in Newcastle? What would it consist of?
Let's go.
Here's a question for you, right? Those of you that are here that have been out in Ireland, what's the best town in Ireland to go out in?
Oh, it depends. I haven't been too many places. I'm a bit boring, even though I'm old. Depends where you're going. Depends what you're doing. Where would you think would be the best place? Place you went?
Again, it kind of depends who's with you.
Yeah.
If you're out with your mates and you want to take in a few drinks, two of my favorite towns are Westport and Carrick-on-Shannon. Actually, I like Athlone. Athlone's quite good as well. They used to say that for every fella that's out in Athlone, there was 4 women. That's what people used to say because the amount of hen parties that used to go there. Carrick-on-Shannon's a great town. Westport's a great town. You know, they're great for a night. If I was going out if I was bringing a partner with me, I would Westport, maybe I wouldn't go to Carrick-on-Shannon with a partner. It's a bit too mad. Westport has that kind of there's a little bit more. It's a little bit more tame than Carrick-on-Shannon. Carlingford's a great town, but again, it's another hen and stag destination, really. Like Carlingford is one of those places that it's like halfway between. It's not halfway between Dublin and Belfast, is it? No, it's not. It's what is it? Like an hour outside Dublin.
Yeah,
it's about an hour outside Dublin, but you get hens and stags that go there from both sides of the border because it's right on the border, Carlingford. And apparently the last leprechaun in Ireland was seen there as well, and they have got like the last outfit wore by a leprechaun. The last leprechaun seen in Ireland is in PJ O'Hare's pub in Carlingford, apparently. And every August bank holiday weekend, I was told, now either the taxi driver was telling me lies or this actually happens. Apparently in Carlingford every year they have a leprechaun hunt because it has been known as the last place in Ireland that a leprechaun was seen. So they get the smallest people in Carlingford, they dress them up as leprechauns, they put them up the mountain and a load of Yanks go chasing after them, apparently. That is a quote from a taxi driver in Carlingford. That's what he told me.
You were obviously too sober and you were listening.
I took it all in.
Okay, here we go. Another question. Let's go for this one. Can you answer this most embarrassing moment?
What is it?
Talking about leprechauns.
All right. Okay, I've got 2 things for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as a child, an innocent child who loves music, do you know in national school and primary school, if the bishop was going to visit the school, the teachers would kind of like prepare the class and be like, right, the bishop is coming. So what I want you to do now is we're gonna learn a few songs. We're gonna learn it in Irish and we're gonna sing these songs for when the bishop comes in. And when he comes in, we're just gonna like nearly do a mini concert for him or whatever. And someone's gonna say a poem or whatever. So the bishop walks in, and I'm in first class. And bishop comes in and says, anyone want to sing a song for me? And I stood up and I rattled out Ain Fuckalella by Richie Kavanagh.
Richie only did Sad Roseberry.
All right, yeah, okay. So I just went in with the chorus. I went straight for it, and I emphasized the fuckle as well in that too. The teachers, they wanted the ground to open up and swallow them up. At the time, it was pure innocent for me because I hadn't I don't even know. Like, it must have been played on local radio a lot or something. Because where else would I have heard it?
Your time, like, it would have been, because I'm actually, this is embarrassing. I'm actually in the video for the Ain Fuckalella.
You're in it?
Yeah, I'm in the video. Yeah.
What are the odds of this? That's amazing. What are the odds of that?
And if you watch Radio of the Years, I'm in Radio of the Years. You can see me. 2 seconds.
What year are we looking for?
It's mid-90s. 1996 has it. I was around 10. Was it 96, 90, something around there?
What were the fucking odds of that?
For people who don't know this.
What were the odds of this? So there you go. Yeah, I sang the song to the bishop. Yeah, thinking. I don't know what I was thinking actually. But the second one is actually a really weird one. And anyone that's watching this right now, I told the story to people several times, so I don't mind saying it now. So when I was in college, and I only did 1 year in college, right? When I was in Galway in college, I went for a night out with a mate of mine, and we got we went to a house party, but we were late going to the house party. So, like, the off license was just about to close. So, picked up 4 cans of Druids, I think it was, and or Devil's Bit. They were cheap anyway. I just remembered that, and they were strong. And I got a bottle of vodka and a naggin, I think it was a naggin of vodka, I think. But anyway, I didn't bother with mixers at all. So at the house party, and by the way, always drink responsibly, lads. So yeah. I was knocking back the vodka as quick as I could. I think I started with the cans. I started with the cans first. So cans back first, 4 cans in, I don't know, 40 minutes or less or something. And then I moved on to the vodka, and I used the cap as a shot glass. And at the end of it, we were playing Kings in the Kitchen. I lost my memory, but I was told what happened. So I ended up pulling that night, right? I ended up kissing a girl. She was the soberest girl in the room. And my mate, who was acting as a bit of a weirdo, and I decided to try and take a picture of this because he thought it was hilarious. She opened up her eyes, saw him trying to take a photo. She jumped out of the way, and I fell flat on my face and broke my nose on the kitchen tiles.
Oh.
I needed an operation. Yeah.
I'm sure.
So there, I don't think that can be beaten.
No.
And to make things worse, right, I didn't see that girl for 3 years after, and I was in Castlebar on a night out, and I bumped into her, and I didn't break my nose, and I bumped into her, by the way, in case there was no puns or anything intended there. No. But she brought her friends over and goes, that's the guy who I broke his nose I broke, you know. And I graduated with one of the girls that was there. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, what is Paul? Paul has the plan put together. Paul Myrtle's travel agents in Newcastle. He's bringing over the Irish, and we're going for a big night out over there. He's talking about the Osborne Valley. It's craft beer central in Newcastle. 4 breweries, tap rooms within a quarter of a mile. 4 proper pubs. A gig venue, food to die for, right in the quayside overlooking the Tyne Bridge. Paul, if you don't work in tourism for Newcastle tourism, you should do so, buddy. You really should, because that sounds fantastic. You've sold things well. Yes, actually, you've gone above and beyond with that one as well. We're on the way. Paul, what time are you free tomorrow? Oh, wow. Joe puts homebrew into how do you do that? Oh, it's on the channel, but really got to go on. No. And Mr. Ginger for the awesome live. Should I change the name of my channel to Mr. Ginger? I wouldn't mind. Like, the lighting isn't even that good in this room, and you can. My hair isn't ginger, but my beard is. Well, it's double, or whatever you want to call it. But Joe, thank you so much, buddy. Great character. If I had a warning label, where the hell did you get these? Did you Google these, Thomas? Because
No.
I really should.
My college psychological course.
You know what, Thomas? You've given me great inspiration for Tinder after this. I know exactly how I'm going to open up my my chats with people now. If I had a warning label.
Come on.
If found on floor, please return to stool. I don't know. I don't know. If I had a warning label, what would be a proper warning label to say that I could potentially break my nose when kissing someone? We could stick that one on my back. I don't know. That's probably it. Well, warning comes without a volume button.
Okay. I could tell it. You answer this question. Let's put you solo.
You're putting me solo. All right.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Craziest thing I've done in the name of love. Now, I wonder now, does he mean meeting someone for the first time or when you're in a relationship with someone? Because both are. Oh, one love. Cheers, Joe. I don't speak Flemish. I wish I could, and I try and throw a couple of words in. But thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. And if you ever come to Ireland, Jesus, Alan, really? So she isn't watching Love Island now. She's watching me instead, and she's saying that. Oh God, don't knock that. My mates would love him, and she's Latvian. Oh my word. Hit me up on Instagram. Hey, Irish craft guy. Is she Irish craft girl? No, she's not. I don't know what you. Anyway, yeah, that'd be sound. I'm going to Dublin, Alan. I'm off. I'm going to get the train tomorrow. I'll arrive into Connolly tomorrow about 12 o'clock. I'll meet up with you. You know, you bring her and her friends and stuff. And we have a big day out in Dublin. It'd be great. Wishful thinking. Okay, the craziest thing I've done in the name of love. I don't. You're missing this, Thomas. Alan is doing some matchmaking here on the channel.
Cool. Who's the
his wife has mates that apparently would love me.
Cool.
Yeah, and she's Latvian. They really look after themselves, Alan. Well done. Nice one. Lovely. Oh, what I love about people from Eastern Europe, they've got beautiful green eyes as well. You don't see much of that here. But anyway, crazy thing I've done in the name of love. Do you mean to meet someone for the first time, or do you mean like while I'm in a relationship?
Yeah, whatever. How to meet someone, what you're doing when you're in a relationship.
Okay, so I once. Oh God, these things are going to be on YouTube forever. I once, actually, when I say once, like I'm making it sound like it was so many years ago. It wasn't. It was recent enough, actually. I drove from here to Maynooth, which is actually it's over an hour. Picked up a girl that I never met before. We were chatting for weeks. Brought her to Achill Island from Maynooth, and then came back to here from Achill Island about 2.5 hours later. Made dinner and the whole works, and we never saw each other again. It was a big effort, but no, that was probably that was yeah. It was quite a yeah. You know, it was quite a. Alan, I love you, buddy. I love you. I don't know how to say that in Latvian, but te amo, te amo, eo amo você, Alan. That's me speaking.
Come on, stop making me feel stupid now. Okay.
But that was probably that was one of the that is one of the craziest things I've done. I would have to spend a lot more time thinking about that, because I'm sure if Keith was watching this channel, right, and I don't know if he's watching it right now, but if Keith was watching it, because Keith's a good friend of mine and he knows all about the crazy things I've done in the name of love. So I'm sure he could list things out very easily.
I'm going to ask you 3 questions in one next then. There you go.
Half full. I collect beer glasses. I have a big selection of them here. People think I'm crazy. And I'm an extrovert. I'm out there. I always try to see the positive side of everything. Life is too short to be negative. I collect beer glasses because I like to have the right beer for the right glass for the right beer. It really bugs me. It's like going into a pub and getting a pint of Guinness in a Carlsberg glass, which has happened. It is just not right. It's wrong. People should be put in jail for that kind of thing. And yes, I'm completely out there as an extrovert. Yeah, I would talk to, like I said, I'd talk to the wall. I'd come in. I if I see someone and I know them, like pre-COVID, I would have been. I can't do it anymore. I'd be shaking their hand, going, "Nice to see you. Hope all is well. Hope your family's good." That kind of thing. So yeah, that kind of answers that.
Okay, we'll go to this one then. These are the weird questions.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. If you've got kids watching this right now and you've a stream on the TV, please knock this off very subtly. Please. This should have came with a warning before this came up. I had a thing I kind of knew when I was 11, I think, but when there was a present I was getting one year. It was like one of those small kind of a snooker table type thing. It was like a mini one, not a real big one. And I'd asked that the man in red for one of them. And when I got up in the middle of the night and they were bringing the bloody thing in, I just saw my brother and my sister bringing it in, putting it into the living room, sitting room, whatever. And I was like, oh, but that was Santa Claus was meant to bring that.
So, Santa is fully real. He just gets his elves to help.
I don't know how to even answer this, but yeah, then the following year, it kind of was just revealed then properly. And so I got an Xbox for Christmas, but I had to give them a calf. I swapped a calf for an Xbox at Christmas. Farming family, you see. Gave my mum my only calf in exchange for an Xbox.
I think that's a good deal.
Good deal, Mind you, I don't think both of them aren't around anymore. Yeah, you've really just ruined Alan's buzz there. He just said glass is always half full, and now he's crying. Like Alan, you should really kind of turn around and be like, no, he is, but Thomas just hasn't found him yet.
I'm just ruined. I ruined. Yeah, Santa's really just not coming to me because I'm a bold boy. I drink beer and I make videos about it.
You don't drink Coca-Cola. You see, you see. What's your favorite family tradition? What is your family tradition? One of the things that I do every year, it would be pre-COVID now, obviously, but one of the things was Christmas Eve. Go to Mass on Christmas Eve. It's like my annual trip to the church, which is quickly followed by going to the pub down where I come from and meeting all day. Like I'd be in there with my dad. That'd be like the Christmas pints with my old man. Every year. So I'm like I really look forward to that every single year when things are normal. So that's definitely, I suppose, the family tradition thing where we all go to Mass on Christmas Eve and a number of us go into the pub after. I really do kind of like Christmas Eve is my favorite day of the whole Christmas period. Favorite childhood memory? There's a couple of different ones, and they're to do with meeting celebrities, sports stars. So I remember meeting Darren Fletcher in a local pub years ago. Sir Alex Ferguson. I met Sir Alex Ferguson, and I remember when I was 10, Phil Taylor and Adrian Lewis walked into the TF Royal Theatre in Castlebar. There was a big competition on that day. It was like 20 grand for the winner. And Adrian Lewis was just like an apprentice at the time to Phil Taylor. And I was like completely starstruck. And I ran up and I asked Adrian Lewis to take a picture of me and Phil Taylor. He took the picture of me and Phil Taylor, and then I just walked away. I didn't even get a picture with Adrian Lewis. So I really enjoyed that. You know, that was when I look back at that, I'm kind of like, God, why didn't I do that? I didn't get a picture with Adrian Lewis, who became a 2-time world darts champion after that. So yeah, they're the kind of things, like meeting famous people when I was a child, like, because you just like, it's when you meet someone that's famous when you're an adult, you're kind of like, oh, that guy's off the telly, or that guy plays for a football club or something. But when you're a child, it's on a completely another level. Like, you're talking about Santa Claus there a second ago, Thomas. It's like when you meet Santa Claus, you're like, oh, it's Santa Claus. And then you meet like a football player from Man United, it's on another level as well. Like, so, because I'm a Man United fan, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah. Man United fan, yeah, have to own up to it as well.
You're a Man United fan. This is the year. And Mayo for Sam as well. Sorry, Alan. I think you're from Dublin.
Yeah, hopefully.
We're going to take you down. Ireland in World Cup 1990. Penalty shootout against Romania. Oh, sorry. Actually, when you're talking about sport, 99, Man United scoring the scoring the 2 goals in injury time against Bayern Munich. My brother lifted me up that day. He's 9 years older than me, and he lifted me up. I was only about 7, and we broke the lampshade in my living room, and like my mum went mad. But anyway, like, you know, it's all in the name of Man United winning. Like, it was a great sacrifice. Now, when I met Alex Ferguson, I asked him for a photo, and I turned to get for the photograph to be taken, and my mum was there trying to take the photo. And Alex Ferguson just started signing the back of my jersey and walked away. So I never got the photograph with Alex Ferguson.
Was it even a good autograph?
The autograph was just, you know, it was one of those kind of like, we'll make it look like an A and let the rest just be a line, a squiggly line. So, yeah, it would look at it. I shouldn't have that jersey. That jersey, I don't, for some reason, my mum put it in the wash several times, and now the bloody thing has no autograph on it. So, and it definitely doesn't fit me anymore either. So I could have done with it.
Okay. I think I have asked you, what are we going? 2 hours, 2 minutes? So, any recommendations for a person buying a beer machine? Last question. What are the downsides? What are the upsides? So, go that way.
Is this just in general about beer machines? In general. Okay, so the biggest problem you have with any machine you buy is, well, with the majority of the machines you buy, is that you don't have, if you buy a blade, you're tied to Heineken owned products. Yeah. If you buy a Perfect Draft, mainly AB InBev products. Now, there are some, now I don't know what the full story is, but I know AB InBev have a massive stake in the Phillips Perfect Draft. But then you've got like, I don't know, you got some craft breweries in the UK that have kegs on it. So I don't know exactly how that fully works, but it's you're kind of tied. You're tied into, you're limited to what you can put on most of these. So same with the sub. I never had a sub, but it's the same with the sub, blade, Perfect Draft. You're tied in. The Linder, you know, it's completely different. The Linder is another completely different thing altogether, because you can hook up anything to it. But the problem you have is you're hooking up a larger quantity of beer. You know, there isn't a universal. I don't think there is, and someone can correct me on this. I don't think there's a universal machine that you can like put any beer on. I'm fairly sure there isn't, but you know, maybe there's these different types like physics or something. But you know, like in terms of mini kegs, maybe the 5 liter systems might be the closest thing to it. But the downside is to these that you are tied to mainly a brand, a certain brewery. Really, that's kind of or a multinational brewing company is what you're talking about. You're tied to them. But what I really like is the Perfect Draft, for example, really does bring out the best in the beer, I think. Like Stella Artois, for example, hate it in a can, hate it in a bottle, love it on the Perfect Draft.
Okay.
Leffe in the bottle versus Leffe in the Leffe Blonde in the bottle versus Leffe in the Perfect Draft. Better in the Perfect Draft. Most beers in the Perfect Draft are enhanced through the machine. I do not know why. On the blade, Heineken on the blade, nicest pint I've had of Heineken. I can't drink it in a pub now. If I go to a pub, I'm just not happy with the pint. It's so different. It's 4.3% in bars in Ireland. It's 5% on the blade. And there's a certain way. I was watching a lot of videos on how to pour the beers correctly, like out in Holland and out in Belgium and whatever the ways that they do it. And I pour mine now with a bigger head on them and stuff like that. So I enjoy them a lot more at home than I would in a pub. I just don't enjoy the taste in the pub because they go flat quicker and stuff as well because they're not poured correctly. There's very little head on the beers here in Ireland. So I would recommend it. I'd recommend going for a mission. Thanks, Alan. Thanks a million, Alan. I was watching your one that night as well, Alan. Alan knows a lot more about beer than I do. You know, craft brewers and stuff like that. You know, I'm into my machines and stuff, but Alan knows a hell of a lot more than I do. And his wife has really nice friends as well, which thumbs up. So yeah, look, I'd recommend a machine. I've got 4 of them here, but I'd recommend definitely putting one in if you've got friends over. And you know, you can get Lagunitas IPA on the blade now, for example. You can get IPAs on the machines. You know, the blade have started putting IPAs on there. There wasn't really anything until recent, but you know, I'd recommend it because if you have people over, it's nice that you can have a beer at 2 degrees, like out of the blade, or it's already 3 degrees out of the Perfect Draft. So, you know, I think it's handy. I always wanted a bar in my house. When I bought this place a few years ago, I was here with a contractor and I was like, I want a bar here somewhere in the house. I want to put it somewhere, but I don't know what to put. He thought I was mental. But then when COVID happened, I saw these machines where they were just kind of like, portable, you put them away very easily and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, we'll try it. I recommend getting something, a Perfect Draft or a blade.
Okay.
Yeah, the Linder is probably a little bit too, you know, there's too much beer and, you know, you'd be buying, the kegs would be too big. It's nice to have a 6 or an 8 liter keg and being able to swap and change then. You know, you're not overcommitting. If you're buying a 20 liter keg, you've got 35 pints to drink. So it's, you know, it's a lot. Okay,
I think we will wrap it up. 2 hours 10, and my broadband is crashing again. So everyone who has commented, especially Alan, especially Joe, Scott and Wanda over there, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Really enjoyed it. Thanks to my guests for joining me. His channel link should be pinned in the top of the comments. If it's not, I haven't done it right. I also set a poll. If that is, have you gone and sub? So if you haven't done it, do the poll and go and sub to A Right Nice Pint. And I will say goodbye and say see you next time.
All right, Thomas, thank you very much for having me on. Thanks to everyone that was on the channel commenting and stuff as well. Bye.
Thank you.